What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Grey Exchange. How's everybody doing tonight? So glad to see all you guys in chat. Let me say what's up to a few of you folks before we bring up our guest. We got NC Prepper 336, Harvey Black, Joe Morgan, Sherry Leach, Miguel Boricua, Jame at the Nuthouse, Pony Girl, G Mac, Tiger 454, Jeff, JDL UNTGR. Yeah, you know I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, but appreciate it from North Texas. Jen G, Milo on the ready, Monty, always good to see you. Let me see here. Ark Wildman Survival. Hawkeye. Always good to see you, brother. Out of New York. Let me see here. Who else do we got? James Horton. Arkansas Whoop Ass. What's up, brother? Wink. How you doing? Bonnie. Let me see. S. Moore. Did I say what's up, Joe? Cherokee Survival. S. Moore. Now you guys are just jumping on me. Daily Prepper. Celtic Prepper. Tennessee Tactical. Big Bear Prepper. Sweet Liberty. Monique. I think I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Klingon Princess, Wacky Prepper, Missy Maysay, War Child Warrior, Tara Smiles, Stewart, Joe, and anybody that I may have missed. Appreciate y'all being here. James Davis, what is up? But not further ado, I want to introduce my guest tonight. His channel is Survival Living. His link to his channel will be down in the description, plus the mods will be putting that throughout the evening. Okay, so everybody knows if you're new here, this is how we run the live stream. First 30 minutes is going to be me and Survival Living, aka CFP. And then the following half hour, we'll do questions. I'll field questions from you, the chat, and the subscribers, and we'll make this all come together. All right, without further ado, let me bring up my guest. What is up, CFP? How are you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good. How's it going?
Another day in paradise and blue. And it's great that we have two Florida. What's up, Alaska Prepper? Good to see you, brother.
We got AP in the house.
AP in the house, Prepper Nerd. I see more of you folks in there. Ladies and gentlemen, awesome. Good to see you, Rudy. Busted Beak. It's nice to have two Florida preppers, man. You got the Panhandle, and I got the East Central Coast, which you were close by. You kind of used to live in this area, John, down here, a little bit west of me, per se. But anyway, CFP, if you can, do me a favor. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel so folks can kind of get to know you a little bit. What's up, Dragon?
Basically, we try to teach how not to die. All right, so we try to cover just the basics of prepping. We start small. We started the channel a little over 2 years ago, and teaching how to stockpile up food. Actually, glad to see Alaska Prepper here because that's how I actually started doing my weekly prep videos. Was modeled after Alaska Prepper's weekly preps, and actually, he actually helped me out through a lot of that when I first started as a YouTuber. So always big fan and support there to AP. So we teach basic prepping. When I first started, I was kind of limited at the house where I couldn't really move around much because I was going through surgeries and stuff like that. So now we are going further with our channel. I go over solar self-reliance. We didn't do a garden this year, but we have covered gardens and how to grow to seed and store seeds. We're going over alternative power sources, generators, solar generators, solar power, wind turbines. We're trying to cover as much of the basic as possible. And we're getting into, thankfully, outdoor survival videos. That is my passion. Like I said, though, when I first started the channel, couldn't do much. Too many surgeries lined up and stuff because I had gotten hurt at work. Now, I'm just a busted up old guy. But we're still making it work.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I might look good because my hair's actually combed, and that's only because of you, because I don't comb my hair for anybody. Yeah, I'm 42. I turned 43 in January. So, yeah, I'm feeling it. I really am. I iron work and worked in the shipyards for over 20 years. Yeah, I'm tired.
Roger that, brother. Yeah, I'll be celebrating my birthday. My birthday's this coming up September 3rd. I'll be celebrating on a Thursday night stream with the folks here in chat. So it'll be a little kind of a good time. It'll be my first birthday ever celebrating on YouTube, per se. So
I don't think I ever celebrated mine. Not on YouTube.
I think it'd be a fun little thing. You know what I mean? It's quite interesting. The wife's is September 1st and mine's September 3rd. So the 2nd is when I'll be doing the live stream, which is a Thursday late night. And just to have fun with the folks in chat and just kind of, have a good time with them kind of thing.
Yeah.
But enough about me, brother. You just went through a natural disaster per se. Yeah, you went through Tropical Storm Fred. How was that situation?
Wet. Well, it's just a tropical storm. Okay, as you know, being in Florida, basically, if it's not a Cat 3, no one bats an eye to it. But the area that I'm at right now, outside Panama City, that's the one that got hit by Hurricane Michael, when it come through. Most of the trees, the natural windbreak is down. It's still down. The lines are still bad as far as power and stuff like that. So even a tropical storm has a heavy beating. When they say 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts, you're getting it. There's nothing to stop it. So it's just a tropical storm, Fred, that came through. It dumped, I think they said, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. I don't have a rain gauge here, but I did a video the next day. Actually, no, I was out there in the middle of the storm for some good footage. Yeah, that's how dedicated I am. Don't worry, I took every safety precaution known to man, but don't do that. Leave it to the trained professionals. Anyway, so I was out there, and I was knee deep in water in the backyard. Now, in all honesty, and I always tell people about that backyard just flooded every time we got a bad storm. Not that much, but when that hurricane came through Louisiana last time, I was up to my crotch in water. So it just floods really bad. But we lost power in the area for a while. Being preppers, though, sorry, I'm trying to talk and also pour coffee at the same time. I like coffee, by the way.
Cheers.
Yeah, I love my coffee. But we lost power, but we had power in our trailer. We got a 6x12 trailer that we are currently living in. We were living in Apopka, Florida, outside Orlando, and we built a 6x12 trailer, put solar on it, toilets, the whole 9 yards. We even got air conditioning on this thing. And that was part of our project for when we head to Wyoming, because we're going to be homesteading. We got 40 acres up there west of Rawlins, out there in the Great Continental Divide. Beautiful country out there. There's nothing around. I mean, when it snows, you're staying home. You're not going anywhere. But we'll be taking that, and we'll be living in that for the first couple months while I get the first part of the bunkhouse built. And then we'll move into the bunkhouse, and then we'll gut the trailer and use it for transport and stuff like that. So for the last year, actually over a year now, the wife and I have been living in that trailer. You talk about the perfect test. I mean, we're living in it. So we provide our power with solar. We do have wind turbines, but where I'm at, the wind doesn't blow enough to blow the turbines. We do have backup generators and stuff like that if we need it. And we've had to fire those things up before. Solar is great, but when you got nasty weather for a week straight, your solar is gonna take a hit. So, we try to work in combination with everything we got, and so far we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I was. That's one thing I catch in your videos a lot. That big solar array that you got there. I think it's pretty nice. The way you got it set up there from the house and whatnot.
Oh, well, that solar array is not mine. When we're traveling through here, we bent the spindle on the 6x12 trailer. Thankfully, I got it fixed. But that's what put us here in Panama City. We were heading towards Arizona, then we're going to shoot up to Wyoming, and we got stuck here in Panama City when we left Apopka, and then the shutdown happened. So everybody was stuck, and I just went to work and everything else, worked on YouTube and everything, doing the videos here, and also working, there for a while I was working 2 actual jobs and also YouTube. But that solar array, that was being constructed when I got here. And when I was looking at it, I know enough about solar because we use it. I'm like, something's up with this. So I asked the guys that were building it, I said, hey, you got the contract? It's a solar farm. All right. So basically they contacted my aunt, told her for the next 20 years, she only has to pay so much on power bill, which is a decent price. But when she loses power here, no power, because there's no battery banks. It doesn't go to her home, but her understanding is she would. And she's sitting there telling me, I'm like, I live with solar. No, you're not going to have power. And every storm that comes through, nope. So they take that solar energy, they sell it to the power company, and they just give her a set rate for her power. So that's not a cheap solar system. I think each one of those panels is 350 watts. So I mean, they're drawing, I think it was 4 kilowatts is what they're drawing. So that's a lot of power. I mean, it'd be enough to run this house and an additional house easily, but it's not set up with battery banks or anything like that. So in a complete SHTF event, somebody might actually disconnect some microinverters and just use the panel themselves with a battery bank. But, I'm not recommending anybody do that because that's illegal.
Roger that, brother. Evidently, we have a birthday, someone whose birthday, Wacky Prepper's birthday. So happy birthday, Wacky Prepper. I see people talking about that in there, so I figured I'd mention that as well.
Happy birthday.
All right. So, hey, Homestead Oss, there's a lot of folks I probably missed. But so thank you all for joining us this evening. Anybody that I have missed, Harvey Black, thank you so much for saying hello for me to everybody out there. Truly appreciate that and appreciate every single one of you guys joining us this evening. So, you know, I liked what you did most recently, even like myself, I do a lot of videos from here in my chair, which is the comfort of my studio, however you want to call that. When it gets cooler out, I usually go out in the woods and do that kind of fun stuff like that. What's up, Virginia Roots? Oh, you did receive your package. Awesome. So I like to get out there and do some things, but just recently, maybe about 4 weeks ago or less, you went out there and did some things. You were out there for 4 days and 3 nights out in the Florida wilderness.
Yep. Yeah, that was I don't know, about 6 weeks ago was the first one, and that was the 4 days, 3 nights. I don't give away the location because I actually plan on doing some more in that location. And the fact is, I just don't want people showing up on me. I mean, I get permits and everything else for where I'm operating in and stuff. But yeah, I started. That's my thing. I grew up outdoors, and before I ever started YouTube, I was a much younger man back then. I'd be out there in the woods. I mean, doing everything. So it's what I love doing, and I get to teach what I know. And the difference is, well, I think the difference is between my channel and many others on that is that these are things that I've already put through the test. I was a train rider for a year and a half. I had gotten in trouble years ago, and I was on the run for 6 years. So I had to use every bit of my skills to stay alive. So everything I'm showing in these outdoor survival videos is stuff that I've already proven that works. And I hear it a lot. Well, who's this guy? He thinks he's the next Bear Grylls. No, I don't recommend ever drinking your own urine. It will hurt your kidneys and everything else. It does cause damage to that. So no, don't do that. But when I was younger, yeah, I wanted to do my own survival TV show and everything else. And being on YouTube, I get the opportunity to. So the tricky part is catching food because everything knows you're out there. When you go out there, you're setting up camp. Every animal knows you're there. And the other part's the camera work. When you're working by yourself, you got to have camera work and you got to have safeguards. The last trip we did, well, I say I brought the camera along, was 7 days. And that was no food. I went to a little lake and everything that hadn't been fished in a while. Yeah, the GoPros. I take the GoPros. We take a camcorder that's got the IR night vision and everything, and then the tripods and the battery banks and the charging station and all that stuff. So you add in an extra 20 pounds to your gear. So with all that, I've decided that we're going to replan some of these things. When I'm fixing to head up to Pathfinder school up in Ohio, the Self-Reliance Outfitters. And when I get back, we're going to be doing some more outdoor survival videos because I think people need to know outdoor survival. We're a prepping channel over there on my channel. But what happens when your preps are gone? What happens when everything's taken away? What happens if you have a natural disaster, a hurricane, a house fire? These things do happen. All right. It doesn't have to be full blown, the big G coming in and taking your stuff. A natural disaster happens overnight and you lose everything. What are you going to do? So teaching outdoor survival, I think, is a very big thing. I think everyone should learn these things because I've had to use them before. Now, I've read, I've seen the comments, well, I'm disabled, I'm this, I'm that. I understand that. You don't want to run out there if you're in a wheelchair. Of course not. It's going to be freaking, if not impossible, but I don't want everyone to say impossible. The human spirit does not give up very easily. If you want to thrive, to live, you will. You'll find a way. So that's why we're trying to teach that on this channel. Plus, I enjoy doing it. So I get to take many vacations, even when it's freaking hot, 100 degrees outside here in Florida, and it's brutal. I still love every minute of it. I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's what I've been doing myself is learning my environment, which I tell folks all the time, with medicinal plants and wild edibles and stuff like that. A lot of people will get certain books, but I found a few that are just specific exactly to Florida. And by exploring the area around me, I try to run about a 50-mile radius around where I live at. I figure that's looking for water resources and edible plants and medicinal plants and things like that. I think it's nice to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. A 50-mile radius is actually a very good radius for it. I mean, And it's not just outdoor stuff, you know, learning edible plants, absolutely. Um, Me personally, I stay away from mushrooms because I haven't been trained on it. I just stay away from them until I can actually get hold of, I guess, as a botanist. I don't know what they're called, the mushroom guy. And I don't mean the guy with the van down the alley. All right. I mean an actual person that harvests mushrooms. Those are the people you want to talk to. Just reading in a book and looking at a grainy picture and going, oh, this looks like this. Very bad idea. I've seen a lot of bad things happen with mushrooms and also other plants because they hadn't put their hands on the plant first. They just went out with a book and go, well, this looks very similar. Yeah, it looks very similar. It doesn't mean it's the exact same plant because some of the photos are not the best. There might be some really good books out there. I haven't found many that I fully trust, not because the information is wrong. It's just a comparison picture does alter per season too. So you only have one picture in the middle of spring and then here it is fall or autumn. You're looking at a plant going, well, it could be. So definitely get some time out there. 50-mile radius, finding wild edibles, water for sure, especially down here. I know the rule of thumbs, 3 days without water. I don't think so down here in Florida. I think there will be some vital organs shutting down in certain parts of Florida, like that last trip I was on, 7 days. I don't think I'd have made it 2 days without water. I really don't. It was that hot. It was that horrible. Luckily for me, though, between the lake there that had to purify everything out and the constant thunderstorms, I had access to water. But doing it without that, I don't think I'd have made 3 days.
Yeah, I like how you improvise with your poncho and whatnot, catching a bit of that rainwater and whatnot. You know, I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I should have done a better camera angle and stuff, but it worked good until I mean, that one trip there were so many rain. Well, actually, both trips, just horrible rainstorms. It's that time of year here in Florida. I had a rainstorm today too. I was worried about not be able to get online because usually when lightning pops here, all internet's down. You're not getting out. So it's just one of those things. That's what happened. Our last time we are going to be set up for a live stream, and hurricane tropical storm came through. Yeah, internet was so bad. I tried doing a live stream with a buddy of mine, Dangerous Freedom. I was opping the entire time. I'm like, dude, this ain't gonna work. So I still got to go do that.
Yeah, it can be rough. That's why I've been trying. I've had issues myself here. Now I've gotten some redundancies with some backup power supplies and internet hotspots and all kinds of odds and ends to just with the opportunity, because one of the live streams I had to do for my car inside of a parking lot of a gas station. And people were like, what's going on, Grey? You're not in your spot. I'm like, yeah, I'm in a parking lot, man. And it's creepy, but I was determined to do the live stream and not, let the subscribers down per se,
No, it's a good idea. Like my cell phone is usually what I take out there to stay connected with people in case of emergency when I'm doing the outdoor survival stuff. But like this last trip, one live stream did very well. Every time I tried it again the next day, no live stream. I couldn't get out. So I need to look at a better carrier and definitely the mobile hotspots. I've been taking a look at those just to do live streams from a camp. But we're gonna be trying to do some safeguards because I'm out there by myself. My wife knows where I'm supposed to be at. She has the map. I've already made all the routes. We have radio communication. If something really does go wrong, she's supposed to contact what we have is search and rescue, which isn't. They're not going to be spending a lot of manpower looking for me. Let's put it that way. But if something was to happen, I still have to get out of there. There's no way they're not going to find me. So we'll probably safeguard something like a food packet or something. I always carry first aid, no matter what. I do not go in the woods without first aid, tourniquets, splints, the whole 9 yards. I make sure I have something. Snake kits, just to make sure. It's Florida. It's brutal out here. You can die. So we'll probably do a food kit or something like that, or emergency water. They have those sealed waters just to tie up in a tree somewhere. If it gets bad after a couple of days, I'll have to go get it. But I'm going to show me go get it. That's the thing I never did like about the reality shows. They made it look good. Not all. I like Alone because they go through some stuff. The naked and afraid and stuff like that. I've watched those. I actually applied for those years ago, and I got turned down 3 times. I got turned down from Alone. Well, they never did pursue as far as contacting me. So I've applied for these, but with my record, I think that has something to do with it too, because they do go into Canada. and having a felony record on me, it makes an issue. So you can't really travel to certain areas, unfortunately. So I got Florida right now. I'm hoping to do Arizona this winter, and then hit up to Wyoming.
Right
If the
on.
lumber prices is correct. I'm not going up there and spending $20,000 on a $5,000 build. That's just crazy.
Yeah, no, I always tell a lot of folks, they dig into people's background here on YouTube because they're curious. And I'm like, man, everybody makes mistakes. We've all made mistakes some point in our life. And, it's, we just got to pick ourselves up and move forward,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And right out the gate, I already knew that happens on YouTube. Right out the gate, I think it was like less than 200 subscribers at the time. I did a video talking about my past, everything, military record, prison record, all that stuff. So people knew exactly who I was. That way there's no surprise. And I bring it up in conversations a lot, even now when the channel starts growing, I still bring it up in the past. That way people know who I am. That way there's no surprise. Oh, I can't believe. Now, the fact is, if you're trying to hide it, I get privacy. All right. I only give out certain information I want people to know, and that's it. There's like, well, what about OPSEC? Well, if they tried coming to my door, it's a bad day for them.
Right on.
So, other than that, I'm not going to give any information out to get my bank account cleared out because I keep cash on hand. I don't keep stuff in the bank.
I hear you there. That fiat currency Rudy likes to call it, the debt notes and stuff like that. I'm right there with you, man. I only put it in the bank to pay whatever bills I have, and the rest is stashed away or invested into some preps or precious metals or whatnot.
Yep.
I want to ask you a few questions about what made you decide to go take the Pathfinder course. And for some of you folks may not know Pathfinder course. I don't know, CFP, if you want to explain to them what the Pathfinder course is, because it's not something that's easily to do. You know what I mean? I know there's a beginner course, but it gets more in depth. If you want to share with these folks what it kind of entails.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys remember Dual Survivor. Years ago, as a reality TV show, had Dave Canterbury and I think Cody, I forget his last name, were doing it. So Dave Canterbury opened up. He's got a big old piece of land out in Ohio, Jackson, Ohio. It's 180 some acres, and he runs Self-Reliance Outfitters. So part of Self-Reliance Outfitters, they offer outdoor survival courses, training, and stuff like that. So they do have the basic, basic camp and stuff like that, which I wasn't interested in. I wanted the advanced course. I wanted the hardest course he had. But I couldn't take the advanced course because they had a prerequisition. It's probably not the right word. You had to take the intermediate course first, which is no joke. It's got a 30% washout rate. So I went ahead and signed up for that. It's like $450 for the course and travel, and you have to have specific gear. But I've been watching some of the other channels that have done it. Some unfortunately washed out. Others were successful at it. Basically, it's the stuff that we've been working on the channel: bow drills, primitive fire making, manufacturing stuff out in the woods with nothing. You got a knife. You got to make everything yourself. A lot of walking, land navigation. As far as they spend a whole day of nothing but land navigation with your pack on, with an additional poundage of firewood. Night navigation. They're doing no food. Very little water, just enough to keep you going. And that we have sleep deprivation, food deprivation, because it does take its toll on you after a few days. So this course here is from the 9th through the 12th. And I forget what hour it is on the 12th it actually stops. But the entire time you're out there, you don't have no air mattress or anything like that. You're just taking your gear that they only allow you to bring. I've got some pretty amazing gear that I love, and I wasn't allowed to bring that. It's the basic stuff that they want you to have, and that's it. I got to lug around a heavy canvas tarp. I don't use canvas tarps; they're freaking heavy. But it's part of the course, so I've got to do it. But I enlisted on this. I went ahead and paid for it and joined it for a couple of different reasons. One, I love it. Two, I wanted to establish myself as what I'm saying to be, well, one, factual, but give myself more credibility in the community. It's one thing to be doing something, doing films and stuff on the outdoors, and I try to keep 100% honesty and openness on everything. If it fails, I say, hey, this ain't working. So with this backing, and because he is actually recognized internationally as a survival course, they do have a training instructor course and all that stuff. It's way too much money for me to even attempt that. And it's like over a year of taking multiple courses. I just don't have the time right now to do that, or the finances. So I'm just taking the hardest course that I have available, but it'll give me that credence, because I do see the comments where, well, how do we know that you know what you're saying is true? Well,
Right.
I've lived it, but again, I'm a YouTuber. Okay. Unfortunately, a large percentage of YouTubers are YouTubers. They're, that's just the way it is. It's entertainment and stuff like that. But if I want to be took seriously, I need to have some paperwork backing that up. So I'm going for the paperwork. I'm going for the scout patch. That's the second hardest course. When I get done with that, we'll see if I can take the advanced course. I try to hit one right after the other, and they say they don't do that in case washout or something happens. So we'll see. We'll see how finances and stuff are going. See how everything's going with homesteading, because we want to be in Wyoming come spring. If everything's good, we'll go back and take that advanced course they've got. And the advanced course, you're stripped down of pretty much, you don't have much. So they're rough, but the intermediate course isn't a walk in the park either.
Yeah, no, I think the material taught in those classes, I've watched a lot of material on that. I don't know if you know Joshua Enyart, he participates in that as well. The gray bearded Green Beret, he offers stuff like that as well. And I think he works with those folks in education in the schools and whatnot. And I've watched folks who have done the Pathfinder courses and stuff like that. And like you said, some of those folks wash out because it really does push you to the test of your survivability with minimal, items. You know what I mean? And these predetermined items, not everybody usually carries. Like you said, the canvas tent or canvas tarp. That's I don't even have a canvas tarp. You know what I mean? I had lots of tarps, but not a canvas one.
Well, yeah. I mean, you take a look at the buck saw that they use. All right, I carry a folding saw in my backpack. Well, they don't allow that. You have to construct your own buck saw. So the first time I ever did that, the thing fell apart. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? It took me some time to actually manufacture it correctly and learn how to actually build what they're showing, because I'm looking at the design. I'm like, yeah, that's easy. Well, first time I tried it, it fell apart in my hands. I'm like, well, that ain't working. But over time, with everything, you just keep on practicing. I mean, I'm not going to be walking around the woods with a 21-inch buck saw all the time, blade. I'm just not going to do it. I'll keep a folding saw, but they require it in the course. Now, can you do a lot with that saw? Yeah, you can actually cut some serious logs as long as you make your buck saw correctly. You can set your gauge to really cut some serious logs. So it's got its pros and cons. It's really what you're comfortable with and if you're willing to adapt it. I saw some, well, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Everybody has their own views on outdoor survival. Everyone has their own technique on certain things. My technique might not work for you, but the basics are there. It's the idea, the structures, everything's the basics there. It's up to you on making it your own. All right. Because I show one way to make a shelter, don't mean you're going to make it the exact same way. Make it to your needs out there. Everybody has different needs. Down here in Florida, the biggest thing I'm worried about is keeping the rain directly off of me. If it drips on me, I'm good. Keeping the sun off me, that's the main thing. You got to keep that heat off you. But like I made a shelter out of using pine. All the pine needles. Those things do not shed water at all. I mean, you're going to get wet, but it keeps that direct rain off you. And I can actually build a fire on the inside, keep the interior dry. Sure, I might be getting little trickles on me here and there, but it's actually pretty nice and toasty in there. So everybody has their own way of doing things.
No, I agree. The last outdoors video, or what I would call outdoors video, is I was 5 miles in, and I had, being in Florida most of my life, I was pretty hydrated and stuff like that, but I felt that nasty heat, and I started thinking to myself, well, no one knows I'm out here. The old lady knows, she knows I'm out here, but she doesn't know where I'm out here. I just go out with my camera and just start hunting stuff down and exploring. You know what I mean? And I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I said, I might have to cut some of this back a little bit till it starts getting a little cooler, because people underestimate the Florida sun, the humidity, the storms that can roll in out of nowhere. And people will think that you can't get hypothermia in Florida. They're far wrong from that, man. Far wrong from that.
Yeah, that you're absolutely correct on that. There's a lot of dangers, and that's one of the things that we started. We're going to wait until we come back from Pathfinder to do some more of those. The heat, it's just ridiculously hot. You can actually get, because the heat just beats down on you nonstop for days at a time. This last trip I was a little over 6 miles in, and I was, I was out there. My wife knew the general location. She's never been out there. She's got the maps. I plotted everything. I keep my compass, so I keep my courses and everything else. And she knows my timetable where I should be. But unless you're always out there, you don't even know what your timetable is. You don't know what type of terrain you're running into. It could be humidity 83% or higher, and all of a sudden you're moving slower. So you should have been at a different location 3 hours ago, and you're still not there. So something could have happened. Slightest thing. You got all that gear on, especially. I pack heavy. I train real heavy. I believe and many will argue with me, but I train heavy because I like having extra gear.
Right.
Part of Pathfinder course, we were having to train 50 pounds. You had to start training with 50 pounds, or they say you're not going to make it. So I'm training with 60, 70 pounds. Now, I had to fill up some extra water bottles and throw in my pack to make that happen. But anything can happen. You can twist your ankle, you can break your leg. I've been injured out in the woods as a train rider, out in the middle of nowhere, living on my backpack, and nobody's there to help. Nobody. That's me dragging myself along track to get to a town, to get to the doctor. I had this jaw shattered, and I was in lower part of California, jumped off a freight train, 8 railroad tied.
Wow.
No one was there to help me. I had to find a hospital. I didn't have a cell phone. So dangers are there. There really are. So, you can safely do a lot of things. Just you have to be aware of everything, and you have to be careful with everything. I do take a little bit of chances on the channel when I was like walking this tree over a water area. Man, I'm not going to do that in real life. Out there, I was doing it just to show how stupid it was. But I'd already walked it like 3 times, set up the cameras and all that stuff, just to check it, make sure it's not completely dead tree or anything like that. And I'm saying it, do not do this. Oh, I went ahead and did it, but I'm telling everybody else, don't do it.
No, right on. Montana Sky, and both of you, Montana Sky and Milo, thank you guys for the super chats. And if you guys are aware, I don't know Montana, I know Milo is, that I do every super chat and every super sticker that I get throughout the month of every month, I enter you into a drawing for the super chat of the month giveaways every month. Just wanted to throw that in there. I guess it's what of a self-promotion or whatnot for you folks. And just to remind folks that your money goes back to the community that you guys pour into the channel.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's something I came up with because I was trying to figure out, okay, I get all these super chats and super stickers, and other than just pocket that into money and be like, yee, I made some money on YouTube. I've decided to I do every month all the, like someone, let's say Milo or D14 one last time. We had like 14 entries. Every time they do a super sticker or super chat for whatever amount, I give them an entry into this thing and a little ticket with their name in. And then that first Thursday of the month, I'll mix them all up, pull a ticket, and let someone win something. And usually it's not, I don't go for something like cheap, you know what I mean? I get food buckets, IFACs, good prizes, you know what I mean? To make it worthwhile, you know what I mean? I take a certain percentage of all that and invest it back into the channel and give it back to the community. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
I just started the membership, the channel membership they give you on YouTube here. And I've had that for, I don't know, over a year, I guess. And I just now started, I'm sure as a YouTuber, you get contacted by everybody underneath the sun. Hey, check out this new flashlight. Check out this.
Mm-hmm.
I like gear. So what I decided to do is, I'll review it, but I'm giving it away to my members. And that's what I've been doing the last couple of them. And I'm going to continue on those, the flashlights, the headlamps. They're cool little items. They're useful little items. I'm not saying go buy it, but if they're going to give me one, I got a whole bunch of flashlights. I just contact my members. I pick one. Hey, you want it this time? Send me a P.O Box, whatever, and I'll mail it to you. Ain't going to cost you anything. So that's what I started doing with those, just to give something back, because memberships, they cost money. Most of it's there to help support, the channel and stuff. And I don't need 25 flashlights. All right. So if I can turn around and give a bunch of them away, I'm going to just do that.
No, right on. I agree with you there, brother. Just checking something on YouTube. YouTube likes to demonetize my live streams for some reason, so I was checking that. I don't know why yet. I already wrote them about it. For not, we're not, just talking about normal stuff. God, I was going to say something about that. I tried to do a member live stream today, and evidently I must be doing something wrong because I got one of my moderators and one member. I think I have about 50 50 members and try to get them on the live stream. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do a members only live stream and get everybody there. I need to focus on a date. Maybe I'll do a poll or something. What day or what time is good for you folks? Because evidently Tuesday night or Tuesday morning at noontime is just not working out. Either I'm talking to myself or there's only 1 or 2 people in there. So,
brother, that happens a lot. It happens to me. There is a way to actually check your traffic here on YouTube and see when most of your viewers are watching, but it doesn't separate your members. But yeah, just go ahead and post it in members only. Post it in the regular, hey, we're going to be having a live stream, a poll, just to find out what everyone's best time is and stuff. But like people actually, they have lives to run. I feel very fortunate when they actually go and click my video. Like, man, I really do appreciate your video. I'm like, dude, I appreciate you actually watching it. Okay, I mean, that means a lot. Is that I've had them. I couldn't support you. You just did. You just sat there and watched my video. That supported me. It really did.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm saying I'm looking at because Jam in the Nut House, one of my members, she was there today, and Harvey Black, one of my mods, he was there today as well.
Oh, I know Harvey Black.
Yeah, we chatted.
He comes over there my channel a lot. I know Harvey Black.
We chatted for about 40 minutes, just listening to me ramble on about how can we fix this situation. I've been watching YouTube videos on it. So what I'm probably going to do is something like when I'm doing a stream like this, maybe I do a Sunday night premiere or Sunday afternoon premiere. I might run it right into a live stream right after that, because I know I have everybody's attention at that point. I'm like, all right, everybody, we're going to a members only live stream kind of thing like that, and go from there. Because I want to give back to them. I want to do something for them. Like you said, their members are supporting their channel in all different types of ways that they can, going above and beyond, outside of, giving the thumbs up, leaving comments, watching the ads, and just being a subscriber. And speaking of which, we have Comrade Radio. Welcome to the Grey family, brother. Appreciate that, man. So I think I have 51 members now. But
awesome.
I want to do specific giveaways for them and do special behind the scene contents. I've been suggested they want me to do bloopers, hearing me curse at the screen when things go sideways.
Yeah, so. that's one of the things I'm going to start including on mine, because there's a lot of bloopers. There are. I mean, yeah, we do magic with editing later on, but there's plenty of bloopers. So giving that extra footage and stuff to actually paid members, it's it's a nice gesture. One, thank you, and it's just a little extra. I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard to run both that all the time, plus Patreon, if you got Patreon and everything else. It does take its toll. Fortunately for me, I am full-time YouTuber now. My wife has given me the support on it. We've gotten a lot of traction with the channel. I went ahead and left my other part-time job. Like I said, I was working many jobs, but I just started cracking down on it. We've got a goal, because when we get to Wyoming, this is one of our biggest source of income, is our YouTube channel. So we'll just keep it real. I mean, if you don't like what I'm saying, you don't have to watch that video, just move on. I try to keep it as, normal as can be, as far as the whole fear porn and stuff like that. I look at some of my titles and thumbnails just to get people to click. But during the process, I'm dialing down and explaining what we can do in situations, instead of screaming and hollering, "We're all gonna die." None of that. I might get you to click on it by throwing some crazy stuff up there, but I'm going to be explaining why you clicked on this video. So it's been working, and that's actually one of my biggest ones. My outdoor survival videos so far don't really get a lot of watch time on it, but it's what I enjoy doing. So I still keep my prepping videos, but we are focusing more on the outdoor survival.
No, that's awesome. I hear you. I try to keep my channel somewhat diverse as well. Like on Sundays, I try to deal with all that kind of crap, that media, politics, and stuff like that. I leave that for the Sunday shift, and then kind of do some prepping videos, education videos, gear reviews and stuff like that. Because that's the whole reason I got into this as well, is to educate and teach and share information with the community. I understand that Afghanistan, health crisis, pandemic, China, Russia, all that stuff is like click, 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 click. But after a while, I'm assuming folks have to get tired of hearing the negativity on a consistent basis. And here's
it burns me out, even doing content on it. It burns me out. If I just started getting moody, I'm just tired of covering. I'm tired of reading about it. but there's times that you do have to cover it, but
Right.
like I do, I try to give a different perspective on it. Instead of screaming home, we're all going to die. Hey, just go ahead and keep doing your prepping, keep doing this, just keep your eyes on this type of scenario and prepare for the worst, just move on.
Right on. Yeah. And last thing I want to say to that, because I see I paused where I had a question at, and we're gonna get to your questions real quick here, folks. Is it's like you said, giving your perspective on things like that. I think some people take it too far, and the way I look at it is what's happening in certain places or what's happening around the world. We can address it, but literally, what can you specifically do about it as an individual? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So be vigilant of the situation and be aware of the situation, but continue to concentrate on your family, your preps, and that you can that what you have control over, and not what you don't have control over. So don't worry about all this. Be aware of it, but focus on what you need to be focusing on is your preps and preparedness and educating yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. There's some things I can't control, but I can control what goes on in my yard and my neighborhood to an extent. So that's what I focus on.
Like I said, when it comes to me, then it's a whole different story.
But you already got your plans in place.
Bingo.
Yep.
Not my home. I'm not sure if you're trying to get my attention, but what's up? I see you said GreyMan with a bunch of Z's. And then Harvey Black, I did pause it on that question from Kim's Farm Life. She's asking, if you needed to survive 72 hours in the woods, what is the basics need? What would be the basics needed?
72 hours. You could actually tote this yourself. Water. That's actually number one. Water. All right. If you're going to be going to an area that already has water, you can trim that down. You need a container to collect water. You need a container to boil water. So both those containers should be condensed down to one, a metal container, hopefully stainless steel. A water filter will definitely help you out. Sawyer, water tablets, purification. You need a tarp, something that makes it easier to have a tarp or a tent instead of constructing a whole shelter. So in a backpack, a knife, a small hatchet. But if it's only 72 hours, a knife, water container, water purification, whether that be a filter or tablets, something to get you out of the elements. Fire. So matches, storm matches. If you're not proficient with ferro rods or magnesium fire starters, matches, waterproof matches work great. They last a very long time. Having them in a container. I try to train as much as possible, do videos on the other stuff, but a match works great. It really does. So that's just the bare minimum. 72 hours, you can do just fine without food. Are you gonna be hungry? Yes, you are. That one video that I did, I was eating grasshoppers, worms, and grubs and minnows. So you can catch your own stuff. I made fish baskets with rope and stuff. Paracord is a good idea, or bank line. Some type of cordage, or you're gonna have to start making your own cordage. We did do a video on that, and it's very time consuming. It really is.
Agreed. I plan on doing a bunch of short videos, maybe 3 to 5 minute videos for next month, because a lot of folks, I don't know if you guys know, September is Preparedness Month. So I'm going to try to do these quick little videos and try to put out a bunch of material on just little preparedness tips and stuff like that. I figure a lot of channels are going to go that direction with being at Preparedness Month.
I honestly had no idea it was. I've been working with Marfugo TV, Marfugo News, on doing prepper minutes. They asked me if I'd be interested in it. They contacted a whole bunch and left it open for any other prepping community that wanted to do things. So I've been, I don't know, I think I produced like 30 videos, outdoor survival and stuff like that. So those are little 1 minute clips, and it gives the channel exposure, and it's just me making fish traps and cordage and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been doing that for a while now. So I didn't know it was Preparedness Month. I'm still waiting for the free donut day.
Right. I think I picked it up from Cliff over at the Urban Prepper a while back and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm gonna have to tell Mark Frugal, hey, check out GreyMan. I'll do a quick minute video for you.
Yeah, you know what? Send me a text or email me, and I will get you in touch with Dex. Okay. And they hook you up. They'll hook you up on Telegraph, where the rest of us are, and we'll just we bounce around ideas. You tell us which one you're working on, so no one else is working on the same one, and you post it there, and then they bring you in, they look at it, see if it needs to be altered or anything like that. Because it's got to be 1 minute.
Right. Okay.
They don't want it any longer, but yeah, just contact me and I'll get you hooked up with decks.
Roger, that'd be pretty cool. Daily Prepper says, I want a cooking with Grey. So you want me to do a video of me cooking? You might like it, you might not, Daily Prepper. Let me see here. We got Comrade Radio, shelter, water, fire making. It's the 5 C's, folks. The 5 C's is what's super huge. Let me see. Great guest. Thank you, Cherokee Survival. All things acres by. Have a good night. If I missed something you might have said. Love. S. Moore says, I love Grey's mess ups and tongue toes. Yeah, you're trying to do it now, S. Moore. You're trying to get me all discombobulated. Let me see. Wesley Curry.
That's a big word.
Yeah.
Discombobulated.
Wesley Curry says, any yes or no about Ozark North Fork wall tent? I'm not familiar with it, my friend. I don't know if CFP is or not.
No, I don't really know much about tents as far as which one's a better product or not. I'm just looking for something that's going to shed the water off me where it's not a straight downpour. Most tents, the condensation and stuff eventually goes through it. Like I'm using a little cheap one for my camera gear when I'm doing my trips. I mean, it's like $20. So it's really just look at it, look at the materials and stuff. But I don't have any specifics on that.
Let me see here. I'm trying to find something that I saw. Outdoors with James. I can't find your thing, but I'll read it because I appreciate that. Outdoors with James says this channel is absolutely fantastic. 100. Appreciate that, brother. Survival Living. Cherokee Survival asks, Survival Living did live in North Carolina mountains, or maybe he's making a statement there. Did you?
Oh yeah, I used to live in. Yeah, I know Cherokee Survival there. Really good guys. Also got his own channel. Yeah, I used to live there in North Carolina. I grew up in the mountains of North Carolina. So yeah, my stomping ground was Asheville, Black Mountains, Cherokee. I was all over that place. I was born in Florida, but I wasn't raised here. I've only been here for a handful of years, off and on. Most of my family's here in North Carolina, and then they went everywhere. So we're like cockroaches. We're everywhere.
Roger that. Let me see here. What else do I got? Wink says, I dislike fear porn. Yes, it's spelled that way purposely. I prefer explanation, answer, solution. Well, Wink, you're the subscribers that we like to have, because it's like CFP said. I try to do videos, and they don't get as much traction as the world is ending videos, or we left 1 million guns in Afghanistan videos, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Is Kit Carlson says, I know how to prepare a snake from one of his videos. I think they're talking about you, CFP.
Oh yeah, awesome deal. Like I said in that video, make sure to check for bites on it, because sometimes venomous snakes, they bite themselves and actually inject their own venom in their body. So when you actually field dress them out, you'll see the wound. Either make a decision. I cut the whole section out. Don't try to cook it up and eat it, because if that venom is in there, you can have a bad day. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad somebody learned something there.
Thank you for the super chat, Milo. Free donuts where, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Wesley Curry says, which wood stove do y'all have experience recommendations for? So depending on I like the Uberleben. If you're talking about that type of small, packable wood stove, it's called Uberleben. That's the one I like to play around with, and I got a few others that I experiment with. I don't know if you mean like a full size wood stove or a camping wood stove. One to heat a house or whatnot. If you want to be more specific, Wesley, we can kind of address that. Let me see here. Still waiting. Whoops. I saw my name pop up. Where was it? Man, this chat's moving fast, even with the delay. Joni Friel, still waiting on that canning video from GreyMan. Joni, I'm working on drying stuff right now. I'm drying peppers and rosemary and all kinds of other stuff I'm working on right now. I know I should be videoing it, but it's harvesting and doing videos and working jobs. It's complex.
Sound like a bunch of excuses to me.
Right on.
You should have all the time in the world. You don't need sleep.
I know, right?
You don't need to take care of your family and spend time with them. What's wrong with you?
And someone said vaping. Not my home said vaping. What you want me to hit my vape on YouTube again? I do that on Thursday nights. Not my home. The Daily Purpose says you can't control what happens, only how you react to it. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Hoot Owl has a question. It says, "GreyMan, ask CFP and if back in the day did he ever got chased by girls who thought he was Elvis?"
I do know Hoot Owl. Good to see you, my friend. No, I was actually terrified of women growing up. I grew up in a very strict home. My mom was a missionary's daughter. Women were the devil, as Waterboy would say. So yeah, I was actually very dumb growing up, and I joke with my wife all the time. I told her some of the stories. Says, and I had this one girl. I was working at Kmart at the time. I was like 16, and she wanted me to help her fix her bed. I'm like, well, what's it doing? It's making all kind of squeaky noises when I get up on it like this. I'm like, oh, you just need washers for it. So I take her to the hardware department, show her where the rubber washers are, and explain to her how to assemble it. I wasn't a very smart man.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm kind of naive when it comes to that stuff as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see here. And not my home. You're just messing with me. I appreciate it. I like when you guys mess with me. I just have to catch up the chat so that I can see that you're messing with me. Wesley Curry, this is a question I can answer for you. It says, what do you do with collected rainwater? Thanks. Me personally, depending on your situation, I still try to boil it because you never know what's that rainwater's coming through, what's in the clouds, what's in the atmosphere, what leaves. And I don't know. That's just the way I do it. I don't know, CFP, if you do any boiling of rainwater, or do you just kind of drink it straight?
Okay, so the technical way that you should do it is exactly like GreyMan is saying. You should boil it. When I'm doing my outdoor survival videos and stuff like that, I did the 4 days, 3 nights. Couldn't get fire going because it was just constantly raining. There was just no way of getting fire going with the tools I had out there, and I took only my Pathfinder gear with me. So there was no way of getting fire, so I was drinking rainwater. It's recommended any type of water to boil. Like you were saying, you don't know what's coming off the leaves. Depends on the location. Anything on these plant leaves, it could be pesticides or anything. You just don't know. If you should, have I not boiled water for rainwater? Yes. The only time I ever got dysentery was drinking from puddles and an actual stream.
Now that makes sense. Wesley, you're coming in with the questions left and right. Any way to keep the raccoons off the campground at night? I have a way, but it's nothing I can really talk about on the tube. But honestly, if you keep your food in certain spots, man, because they're that's what they're there for. They're there for food. So depending on how cleanly you are and whatnot, that'll kind of make that decisiveness of if they want to come into your camp. But they make good eating, believe it or not.
Yep. Yeah, that's a very good eating. Best thing to do is blanch it first. Blanch the meat, get the oil and fat out of the material before you cook it. It's not as greasy. Best thing to do, never cook inside your camp. Always set up a separate campfire away from camp. Always put your food up in a tree. All right. Now, raccoons climb trees, but them trying to scale down a 12-foot paracord and trying to get to your whatever it is, it's going to be more difficult for them. Don't ever keep food in your camp. Try to cook and eat outside of your camp. Even if it's only 100 yards, it's still 100 yards from where you're sleeping. Because raccoons, you don't really have to worry about as far as, being a deadly predator, but other things like to eat raccoons. And if they smell the food, you're going to have somebody else there.
Roger that. Arkansas Whoop-Ass is a question for a small 1 kilowatt off-grid solar system. Would you recommend a 12 volt or a 24 volt system?
12.
12?
If it's that small, you want to be running 12. Like in my trailer, most of our equipment is 12 volt DC, like our lighting. Now our TVs and stuff is AC, but I recommend 12 volts is less of a draw. That's my recommendation. And this is also opinion, just depends on who has what system. It's kind of like Ford trucks versus Chevy trucks. Just depends on what you're driving, is the opinion of, the person. I like 12 volt system because I am a mechanic by trade as well. And it's just a simple system. I like using 12 volts.
Right on. Let me see here. Wesley coming in with another question. And what are your favorite boots or shoes? I wear boots when I'm out in the wilderness. For me, I use the Solomon's. That's how I call them, Solomon. I think Solomon X, they're like Gen 3s or something like that. They seem to work well, but I also have my military boots as well. There's some decent brands. I even have some Duckhead from Bass Pro that I've had for over a year, and they're still solid. They're leather, but pretty nice boots. How about yourself, CFP?
Whichever one fits. I wear boots. I wear boots just because trying to wear tennis shoes out in the woods you're asking for trouble. Anything. I mean, I've had tennis shoes on before, and I've had stumps go right through them, damage my feet. I always wear boots, combat boots, military boots. They're very reliable. They might not be the most comfortable. Get you some insoles, break them in. But yeah, I get full length boots. It comes up. I don't know, not half shin high, but a little lower, just regular hiking boots. As far as a brand, I don't have any particular brand. If it's not that, you don't know what you're talking about type of stuff. Whatever's comfortable, whatever seems to last. And it really comes to what punishment you're putting them through. I've had some nice leather boots just not hold up. As a welder, I like Red Wings, but I'm not going to be running around the woods with Red Wings. I'm just not going to do it.
Let me see. Wesley, Wesley is in there with the questions. I think you can probably get the Moabs, Wesley. I wish I had links for you, but I don't. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. The Moab, oh man. Maybe I don't feel like looking it up right now. It's by Merrell, MERR, Merrell boots. Wesley, if you can get them on sale, you can get a decent pair for about $100 or under. I'm finally up to Milo super chat with the donuts. All right, I'm trying. Comrade Radio says the best tent is the one you have. Yeah, the thing with tents, if you don't spend an absorbent amount of money on a good tent, you have all these issues. And real quick on the boots thing, make sure you have moleskin in your pack. You never know how handy that is, and having the right socks as well. Just having the right boots, you need to have the right socks, and also ways to prevent things from taking your feet out from you. It just made me think about that as I'm sitting there going through some of these other questions. Let me see.
Yeah, I use wool socks, even down here in Florida. They're harder to dry out, believe it or not, but that's what I usually wear.
I'm more of a if it's just me, I'm more of a a hammock and a tarp kind of guy for Florida. Staying off the ground.
I do have a hammock, and I was going to take that my last trip, but I saw the thunderstorms coming. I'm like, nope, not going to do that. So I still have to take my brand new hammock area. I just got the sucker, and I can't wait to try it. I haven't even tried it in the yard. I'm like, I'm not taking that to a location I know nothing about and have no idea if this thing's even going to work. So yeah, I do like a hammock, but I like the old style Vietnam jungle hammocks. I really do like those. They have the screen porch all the way around it with the tarp built onto it. Mm-hmm. But when I was a kid, it's when I first came across it. But I don't like being wrapped up in a hammock when I'm trying to sleep. I like being able to fight off whatever is grabbing me. So I'd always stick a stick down the loops on both ends, so it lays flat, kind of like it looks like a board with the tent top part on. So it's like you're laying on a trampoline, so it doesn't wrap you up and actually hold you in a burrito. I cannot stand being constricted. I just don't. I don't even like sleeping bags, but I've got one, but I do not like being zipped up and can't get my arms out. So still going to work on that. Claustrophobia, I guess.
And my apologies, folks. I am behind. I see Daily Prepper. It says you can use it to do desert training ground. Maybe that's I might have missed the rest of your thing there, Daily Prepper. Sherry Leach says, has survival living done winter camping?
No, not on YouTube. I've done it many times in the past, and one of the things we'll be doing in Wyoming is that.
And Milo, you make a good point. Any tent can be good if you use brush to insulate it and whatnot. And that's kind of how I use, let's say, a lean-to or a tarp or whatnot, is using the environment around there to make it better. Let me see for the house I love. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. Hammocks and Hennessy are absolutely perfect. Best hammock I've ever had. Let me see here. Dun, dun, dun. I have a power supply, but stove will be important come November on the tent, 10 by 12. Oh, so you're looking for a tent stove, basically. There's some good ones on there. Wesley Curry, if you want, you can email me or email CFP, whatever you want to do, man. And I can give you some suggestions on a little little wood stoves for tents. There's some good ones out there. Some foldables. Some got a little bit more weight depending on how much you want to, take out there with you.
Yeah, are you looking for a backpack one or one that's going to be thrown in a vehicle? Because
Yeah.
I've seen like the one I've got is actually considered a tent stove. It's a freaking wood stove. It weighs like 80 pounds. So if you're looking for a backpack one, there are some good models. Don't go for one made out of aluminum or thin steel. It's just going to warp all the crap. Get at least 1/8 thick steel, if not larger. It does add weight to you, but it's not going to break apart. It's not going to get burnt out. The real thin stuff, you get it hot enough, you're going to burn it out.
Yeah. And the titanium ones are nice, but they're expensive.
Yeah, titanium, yeah.
Kit Carlson, do you ever filter straight rainwater through a Berkey, or do you still need to boil? Kit, technically, the Berkey is really effective at with rainwater and stuff like that. Look at the limitations on what every water filtration system has some limitations. People ask me, well, can you filter salt water through a Berkey? Can you filter chlorinated water through a Berkey, and so on and so forth? And I've explained the other ways that you can do. Let's say people have pools in Florida. So I've told people, I said, if you get a 5-gallon bucket, take a scoop out the pool, let the sun evaporate the chlorine out of it, and it's drinkable basically at that point. But you don't want to just drink straight pool water.
No, because of the chlorines. I mean, drinking that much chlorine, especially if that's your only thing, like you said, evaporate it out is the best way to do it because it's going to make your throat very sore. And I don't know what the long-term effect is on your organs. I mean, yeah, we treat water with chlorine, with bleach, but long term, I don't know what the medical is going to be like later on. It's one thing in an emergency, but it's also another thing of years drinking that. Don't know.
And that's what I tell a lot of people. A lot of people don't know their tap water has traces of chlorine and stuff like that in there. Matter of fact, Sawyer Mini has a filtration system that you can put on your faucet to get a lot of impurities out there, which is pretty cool.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I just seen it about a month or so ago. I was like, man, I'm going to have to grab a couple of these, and I thought it was pretty nice because other than that, we get water by other means. Wesley, I'm glad that worked out for you in regards to the boots. Let me see here. I can try to scroll down and catch up. Let me see. The boots would be one thing worth getting best on. Yes, Wesley, your feet are super important when you're out there, man. Super important out there. And I think Milo, you sent me a super chat, or something about you miss your military boots, and I missed it. I apologize, Milo. I missed my steel-soled jump boots. Gotcha, Milo. There we go. And then there we go.
I used to always wear steel-toed and steel-shanked. As a welder, I always wore those. But out in the woods, I don't wear the steel-shanked ones. Steel-toed, it's really construction of the boots because you get a bad pair, it's going to be cutting into the top of your toes all the time. Yeah. So make sure it's a good quality pair. That's for sure.
Not a problem, Wesley. I'm glad I like to interact with you guys that ask questions, and hopefully, we gave you some good answers and gave you at least things that can help you out. Because that's the goal behind these live streams, is to educate people as well beyond just doing videos. Let me see. Daily Prepper says, please tell Survival Living to contact me when he comes to Arizona. We have 60,000 acre ranch he can use for desert training. Oh, that's kind of cool.
All right. Yeah, definitely shoot me an email. I got my email address on my about section. Definitely shoot me an email. I'm actually going to be meeting up with a couple guys. Ryan from Prescott Caliber Club. He's out in Prescott. I used to live out of Mesa, and then I was south of Tucson many years ago. I've been all over the place. I got to get up with Dangerous Freedom. He's out there about where I was at. And Snafu, he's out that way too. So, yeah, I'm going to hit the Superstitious Mountains this time with a camera. I've done it before, but I didn't have a camera. I wasn't a YouTuber. So now I just make sure I bring a camera with me everywhere. I go to the gas station, I got a camera with me. If it's not on camera, it's not real, right?
Yeah, right. Someone said, or Wesley said, look on your local laws. Because some people trap raccoons and they just relocate them. They're a nuisance. As far as I know, they're not protected here in Florida because if that is the case, then I've done a lot of bad.
No, raccoon here in Florida. I just got my license renewed for this year. Raccoon, nutrient. There's a handful. Possum, skunks. They're all nuisance. But when you start doing trapping and you're planning on exterminating things, May as well go ahead and invest into the fur bearer license too. It just covers you again. Florida likes to stick you with fines over everything, and it's the same process. I mean, I went ahead and got a whole bunch of licenses and stuff just to cover me. So all it takes is one game warden to show up, and you're done. So yeah, always try to cover yourself on that.
Homestead Oz, take care. If you're still in here, I apologize. I just came up to that. And where was it? The Outdoors with James. I get it now. Hennessy is the name of the hammock. Hennessy Hammocks. Gotcha, brother.
I thought he was kicking back a couple of Hennessy's and sitting in the hammock. Homestead Oz, good to see you, my friend.
Let me see. I haven't. Where did I see a question at? Do you have a recommend? Eric Dunnell says, do you have a recommendation for an IFAC kit? I mean, that can differ from each prepper. For me, I'm going to be doing a video. I'm hoping to get it done tomorrow, but I'll be doing a Bearfac versus Amazon's most anticipated, highest rated IFAC there is. So you guys will kind of see the difference between these two, which is the Bearfac is through Refuge Medical, and then the IFAC. This IFAC is off Amazon, and it's the highest rated one that they have on there with like 5,000 positive reviews. So we're going to see the difference between the two. Maybe that'll help you out in regards to making a decision.
I build my own.
Yeah, and that's what I tell folks. If you buy something from Amazon, I did a video a while back, and I said you can take that pouch, and then it's better to look at a lot of different things. If what you put in this IFAC, be it chest wall seals, clotting agents, compression bandages, tourniquets, and all that stuff like that, because you need to build that IFAC specifically for you and your family. Let's say if you have children's, a Cat 7 tourniquet, or might not work as well on children as good as a Swati tourniquet, and things like that. So there's more to look at it than just saying, hey, I'm going to buy this generic IFAC on Amazon, which a lot of people have done, but maybe take some things out and add some things in there that might be more beneficial, because the scissors and stuff that come with it are trash. There's some things you might want to replace with that.
Yeah, and you can get the just the rip away IFAC packs on Amazon. You can start from just the pack itself and build it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the other packs or not. It's just I've always went by whatever scenario I know I'm going to be going through. That's how I build it off of that. What my needs are, what I know is going to bother me, and I'm not planning on running around with a chest wound type of situation when I'm by myself. I mean, I know if I get a chest wound from a round, I'm by myself, I'm dead anyway. It might be a couple hours, but I'm not going to be going anywhere. But now if I was in the middle of a combat situation, yes, I would have that pack completely designed differently. Now, same thing with bug out gears. Get home bags. What's your scenario? My get home bag for 30 miles, if I go out of state, it's going to be changed. There can be new things added to it, larger things get added to it. So you're always changing your gear out. There's not just really one set and you go, okay, I'm good, because there's many different scenarios to add with it. Luckily, though, our preps kind of fall hand in hand with each other. So,
yeah, no, I agreed. I was going to say that what's the word I'm looking for? My history as a medic in the military taught me a lot of different things when it comes to IFACs and stuff like that. And you guys have probably seen the video that I did of a full. I have a bag that's basically a hospital on wheels, but it's not like something that I would take everywhere with me. It's like for at home or something like that. You know what I mean? And beyond that, unless I'm the medic, part of my mutual assistant group, I'm the medic. I'm going to be tasked with these duties, and then I would have that bag with me versus like my regular bag or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Having a house bag or whatever, your base camp bag and stuff. Absolutely. I was going to be a doctor, but they wouldn't allow me to have a grinder and duct tape.
Funny you said that. Hoot Owl says, what does CFP use to seal tents?
Duct tape. Oh, you mean waterproofing? I thought you were talking about a rip. Waterproofing. I don't have a specific brand that I use. I just walk into Walmart, whichever one I see is. I set up the tent and I'll soak it down. I mean, it is drenched in it, and I let it air dry and I wrap it, roll it up. But yeah, I mean, silicone actually is a very good water repellent. It's a little bit more pricier than most of your other stuff, but the silicone one is actually pretty good too. The silicone spray.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. It says Pony Girl says, I'm glad Pony Girl says, I just love this channel. I've already learned so much. That's awesome. Good to hear. That's the goal of channels like CFP and myself and other preparedness channels. Trying to scroll down. Hey, GreyMan, Hennessy is an okay. Yeah, I got that. Now the chat jumped on me. Let me see. I'm gonna have to. If you guys have any other questions, you're gonna have to just type them again because things are moving way
Oh
too
yeah,
fast.
it happens. It happens. So I'm very glad your chat's moving that fast. I know it's a little bit more struggling on your end, but that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Let me see. South Florida DCL. One thing I've noticed: most kits, not enough meds. Yeah, South Florida, and you're actually correct. Most IFACs come with very limited stuff, or even your first aid kits might have a couple aspirin or a couple this. I've done some medical videos on when I used to do the medical Mondays. I have a what is it called, a playlist of that. You might want to check some of that out. And also, like I said, I like to do stuff like that, but the problem is you have to be very careful on YouTube talking about medical stuff. So maybe in Discord, down in the Discord, I have a Discord down below that you guys could be a part of. Also, maybe I'll do some, I don't know, BitChute. There's still liabilities when it comes to that stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't even cover medical at all. It's just, let's face it, the platform plays by its own set of rules, and for us to play on this platform, we got to abide by rules. And unfortunately, that one right there would definitely get you struck or took down. So there are some channels that are actually MDs and stuff like that. Highly recommend go check them out. Definitely recommend go check out first responder courses and things like that. If you got a kit, take it to your fire department. See if a lot of the EMS and stuff, even sometimes they do it for free, but some of them, charge a little bit. They'll go through your pack and show you exactly how to use it. So that's another option. There are some, I said EMTs. They will actually show you everything. EAS, that's a video game platform in it. But they'll show you these things. South Florida, definitely good to see your brother. But yeah, those kits, like you said, aspirin, there might be some eye wash. I don't know what type of trauma they think you're going to be going through, maybe a dust storm or something like that. But some of them are pretty much subpar, like paper cuts, and see the little tiny bandages. I'm like, if I'm going to use a Band-Aid, it better not be some little tiny one, because I'm not going to even get my pack out for that. I mean, if it's that little tiny Band-Aid, I'm moving on. Which probably isn't a good idea, because infection, I mean, who knows? I could be wrong on that, but it depends on where you're at, what type of scenario you're in. If you're sitting in a nice, clean environment, I usually don't put anything on it. Maybe some Neosporin or something.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, and I carry that like Neosporin, all kinds of different. Even my EDC bag, I carry a bunch of odds and ends like that as well. And yes, Harvey, thank you for putting my P.O Box up there. You guys know I'm a fanatic for postcards from all over the U.S. Trying to get as much postcards. I'm going to build this postcard wall with you, the subscribers. Not my. Here we go. We got a question. Not my home. GreyMan, ask him what will cause him to bug out.
Many different scenarios. What would cause me to bug out? I'm not in this by myself. I have a prepping community. All right. I'm a real firm believer in having a community, having backup. It's going to take quite a bit. Either it's going to have to be a major natural disaster that everything's polluted, or things are just way too hard to deal with. Here, it just depends on the scenario. It's really hard to pinpoint. Any type of armored carriers rolling around, and my connections are saying they're coming to your area, I'm moving. I know enough to know that whatever we have has no chance of stopping any type of things like that. So I'm moving my family and my community out of the area as soon as possible. There's just depends on the scenario. If it's overwhelming odds, and now dealing with marauders and stuff like that, yeah, no, that'd be a bad idea if they went down our street. But even at that, I mean, you have to have plans. It can't just be, well, I'm going to sit here and look out my window. That's the worst idea you could ever do. You have to have plans in place, observation posts, things like that, listening areas. You have to be able to have people moving around out there that's trained enough not to be giving away their position to see if people are coming in. You got to have that communication. But there's many different scenarios on this. It's not just one fit scenario. More than likely, though, the only thing that's going to blow me out of where I'm at is armored vehicles.
Yeah, right. And when it comes to what we're talking about with the IFACs and all that stuff like that, is beyond your IFAC, because that's, how many are you going to have? Do you have one in your car? Do you have one, in your bag? Do you carry tourniquets? My history as a medic, I have tourniquets everywhere, everywhere in my house, everywhere in my job, everywhere in my car. I have tourniquets, just because they can, and come in so handy, especially if you're going to be using, those things. It's good to have a tourniquet because, when the tides turn, you never know how helpful that will be. And Dennis, surgical staplers work well. Daily purposes, use camera bags for IFACs. A lot of great ideas in the chat. I'll show it on another video. I got something I'm working on for you guys. But like CFP said, if you get the opportunity to, and some of these classes are free. I took a free just to do it, and I guess I was the smartest person in the class because the lady thought it was really cool. I did a free Zoom Stop the Bleed class just to see what it was all about. I searched it in my area and found one, and I was extremely surprised. She was very thorough. I give her that, and she was a nurse practitioner, and she went over a lot of stuff like that, and she was surprised at the information I knew, but I didn't give her my background because it's kind of like anonymous. But it was free, and I was just curious to check it out. But if you can, talk to, like you said, your local fire departments, your local colleges, your local sheriff departments, different places like that. Even some of the Salvation Armies and places like that, Red Cross might also offer, Stop the Bleed classes for free or little to no money.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me see. Harvey Black, for survival living, can you elaborate on your saying at survival living? If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Quote from Benjamin Franklin.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that was the last video I did. I quoted that at the end of the video, and I forgot who actually said that. Yeah. No one plans to fail, but they fail to plan. And I do believe that. Now, even planning things out, do things happen? Oh yeah. Yeah, Murphy's Law is a huge aspect. And a lot of things go foobar very quickly, but have a backup plan. Have a backup plan on that. Does it take time to make these plans out and research, not just write things down on paper, actually go to location, take a look at the surrounding areas around that area. It does take time. And trust me, I get it. We don't all have time. People look at me, they might look at you, GreyMan, and go, well, you're a YouTuber, you got all the time in the world. No, besides doing the videos, we do have lives, and many of us, until recently, I was working 2 jobs, but I still made time to pursue certain things.
That's where I'm at. I'm working. I have my business that I co-own with. I call it co-own, but my partner. We have a business that I do 40 hours there. Then I have another business that I work on, and then YouTube. Because I'm trying to do everything I can to get this homestead. And I saw, and I guess I always need to clarify with tourniquets. Make sure you know how to use a tourniquet properly so that you don't strangle yourself or do something wrong with it.
Or do a David Carradine.
Yeah, right?
Excuse me. I don't know where that one came from.
And we're not going to go too much longer, folks. It's over. I didn't realize how long it's already been. It's been almost an hour and 20 minutes. I'll try to. I know Ark Wildman had a question. He said, "What is survival living's favorite way to start a fire?"
Magnesium fire starters. I've always used them. There's nothing wrong with. I like ferro rod. I mean, there's all kind of ways. I just really like the whole process of using a magnesium fire starter. But yeah, I mean, like we made our own fire kit. That's actually one of the businesses that we are involved with, and we sell through Prescott Caliber Club. It's just, I mean, that main component is a magnesium fire starter. I could have used a ferro rod. I could use fat wood. I could use all kind of different things, but I actually got crucified. How dare you not use fat wood? Okay, so when you have time to go collect your own fat wood and process it and put it in a vacuum sealed pack, you can create your own fire starting kit and sell those too. Because I'm doing everything on my own. I don't have an army of sweatshops to put one together. I'm doing it in my basement. Thank you. But yeah, there's all kind of different ways of doing it. Fat wood. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these ways. I do like a magnesium fire starter. Even a magnifying glass works great. So whatever your preference is probably the best way. Whatever you're more comfortable with, but learn multiple ways. Don't just say this is the only way. I mean, if that was the case, Bic lighter.
Yeah, right. Redundancies.
Yeah.
Mary Copeland, I can answer this question, but there's more to it other than just me answering it. But she said, Two-way radios, which one? I'm going to say the Biofangs just because they're affordable and what you can do with them in a shift scenario. But then we have to go into the whole thing of getting your ham license and, all that stuff like that. But Biofang, you might want to check into that. There's a lot of channels that have done videos on the Biofang radios. CFP, I don't know if you would suggest anything else different than that.
No. I mean, it's one of the go-tos on preppers, and I don't know if first responders use it. I don't know if they have their own type or not. I really don't know, but Biofang, everybody uses them. Even just having them stored up, ready to go in Faraday cages and stuff like that, because during shift, I'm not worried about a license. But until then, if you plan on using anything like that, you better make sure you have a license. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost much. You go take some courses. And they actually have ham radio license courses and stuff to get used to everything. And may as well go do that too.
Yeah, right on. And the law enforcement and fire and rescue, or whatever you want to call those folks, they use most of the system, at least here locally, they use EDAX and digital systems like that for encryption and stuff like that. But the Biofang can pick up that. Biofang can double as a scanner as well.
Yeah, so mine picks up their stuff all the time.
Bingo. Good night, Cherokee.
Yeah.
Let me see. Daily Prepper says, will you do a video on you set up for streaming? Do a video on how I set up for streaming? Is that what you're talking about, Daily Prepper? Other than smack my microphone? What about CB radios? Do you need a license? CB radios? No, you don't need a license on a CB radio. FRS radios, family radio services. GMRS is everybody has GMRS radios. You can see them at Walmart and all the other different places. Technically, you're supposed to have licensing and stuff like that, but I've never gotten in trouble with the GMRS radio. They can't produce enough wattage to really interfere with folks.
Yeah, I was a truck driver for a while, and I had a CB as a kid, and in my first vehicle, I've never had a license for a CB. I do like CBs, especially working with, if you got an outstretch of your prepper community that's, a mile away, stuff like that. CBs work really good, but everybody else can listen into it too. So, yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Digital ham radios are nice. They're a lot more pricier, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Hood Owl says, GreyMan CFP, where do you see yourselves in 10 years? 1 million subscribers, YouTube. No, I'm just kidding.
Old.
Yeah, old. I'll probably still be doing YouTube, but you'll probably see me out in the garden talking to my plants and stuff at that point. Anarchy Television, you're right. CB radios are the original social network. Base station CBs get a license since it is isn't mobile. Right on, Wink. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, folks. I want to say thank you, all of you folks that have joined us this evening. Thank you guys for the super chats and super stickers. Thank you guys for all the great questions and comments. Thank you for being here. What else do I want to say? If my next live is Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And CFP, do you got anything going on or what you got coming up?
I don't plan that far ahead. I don't. I need to actually focus on doing live streams and scheduling and stuff like that. I don't. We got more prepping videos. We've got some more. Well, we're fixing to head out to Pathfinder course, so right. I got my power banks and everything because Dave Canterbury said I can film. So we will be having a video on that. We'll be filming my journey, my epic journey to and from the Greyhound bus stations. I will be doing some live streams when I get to the motel because I'm not worried about the course. I'm worried about how bad I'm going to be broke up after riding that Greyhound for 29 hours. So I went ahead and got me a motel for 2 days. Going to do the course and hit the motel again. But we'll be able to do some live stream and stuff like that. Before the course, I'll be able to film and stuff. So I will have that video. And we're going to be doing a lot more outdoor videos. It's what I love doing. And like I've always said, if I don't know, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and BS you because wrong information for me is going to cause lives. I want to try to help people so they don't have to run into issues. If I'm saying this ain't going to work, it means it's not going to work. I've already tried it. So we'll try to keep it as simple as can be.
Right on, man. Right on. And like I said, I feel like we can talk for hours because all these things are popping in my head. But you know what I mean? We'll have to do something like this again, man. We'll have to do something like this again. And Milo and Already, thank you for that that super chat. He says, no, thank you. No. Well, thank you as well, Milo. You know, you guys are awesome. And appreciate every single one of you. All right. So this is the end of it, guys. I will see you guys on the rebound. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great night. That's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for.